Welcome to the third dimension. Yemen's ongoing conflict has taken a new turn as the Presidential Leadership Council appointed Ahmed Awad bin Mubarak as the country's new Prime Minister. In a statement, bin Mubarak said he assumed the new role with determination to achieve tangible results for the Yemeni people during these difficult times, calling for unity between the government and state institutions to serve the nation responsibly. Bin Mubarak takes on the role of Prime Minister at a time when Yemen faces immense political, economic and humanitarian challenges. The Houthi military actions in the Red Sea have prompted the United States and Britain to launch waves of strikes on Houthi military installations in Yemen, with the aim of degrading the rebels' military capabilities. According to some observers, this new development has shifted the focus from achieving a political settlement towards a focus on dealing with the Houthi threat in the region, and this is yet another disappointment for ordinary Yemenis. With the nation split into a complex array of crises, bin Mubarak faces a monumental task of restoring unity and finding an inclusive political settlement in the country. To discuss this topic, join me Mr. Naji Alharazi. During his 40-year career in journalism, Mr. Alharazi has worked for different local and regional newspapers. Currently, he is a freelance reporter and analyst. Mr. Naji, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
We may start, Mr. Naji, with the reshuffle of the Prime Minister, okay? And one Yemeni researcher based in the United States commented on the performance of the Yemeni government. He said, Yemen government has for several years failed to provide law and order in areas under its control and provide public services, basic public services, end of quote. Now, do you think, the question is, do you think appointing a new Prime Minister would fix this all?
Unfortunately, I will have to say no, I don't think so. Because we all know that appointing a new Prime Minister or ordering a reshuffle in the cabinet means we should expect a real change in the performance of the government and in the performance of the cabinet. What happened recently is a change of only the Prime Minister, which is quite not normal in our area. Normally, if you have if you want to appoint a new Prime Minister, you have to appoint a new cabinet, a new ministers. You have to make a reshuffle, change this minister to this position, especially those who did not do well or who are not doing well. We know, we all know, and sadly, that during the last decade, especially the last decade of in Yemen, because of the crisis, because of the conflict, the government is not able to do its job properly. Not only in the so-called liberated governorates, but in all of Yemen. Remember, they are still in charge of Yemen. They can't just say that we are in charge of the liberated area and we have nothing to do with the areas under the control of the Houthi rebels. So let's hope that the appointing the Mr. bin Mubarak as a new Prime Minister will give the leadership, the Presidential Leadership Council, give them an idea of reshuffle of appointing new government, especially when they decided that they should stay in Aden and start performing their duties from Aden, so they can touch what is happening in Aden after so many years being unable to move freely inside the liberated area or inside other areas to do what they can to do.
Yes, yeah. So, this is also a demand by all Yemenis that the government should function from a Yemeni territory and not from outside. Okay, Mr. Naji, if we now move to the UN peace roadmap, and you might have followed with me that the recent time has witnessed what we call intense international diplomacy. The UN envoy met the head of PLC in Aden, and yesterday he was in Taiz, and before he was in Makka. Also, the US Special Envoy Linder King made a tour to the region, and he met the head of the PLC in Riyadh. Okay, so with this in context, Mr. Naji, okay, do you think the international community is doing enough to push the political process in Yemen?
Look, the international community has so many crises to concentrate or to try to solve. Or regarding our problem, regarding Yemen's problem, the international community and those countries involved very much in the crisis of Yemen, 18 country or so, they tried their best during the last decade, but and we have seen 3 envoys, special envoys appointed by the UN Secretary General, but no major achievement was lived during the last 10 years, except maybe the Stockholm things and Onmaha things. But still, even Stockholm are stuck, and Onmaha mission is stuck, and the exchange of prisoners are also stuck. We haven't seen that major thing happening. We can only hear the UN envoy monthly or whenever he decide to brief the United Nations Security Council, informing them that he has done so and so, and he's hoping to do so and so. We keep hearing that for the last 3, 4, 5 years, and we haven't seen that much. We have seen him coming to Taiz, that's good step. Seen him going to Makka is good. Going to Aden is good. We also, the Yemeni public would like to see him paying more visits to Sana'a, trying hard to convince the so-called Sana'a rulers or the Houthis, trying to convince them that, look, we need to sort out your problem with this so-called internationally recognized government.
Yes.
The envoys are expected to do more, not just arrange for consultation events with the youth, with gender issue, with tribal leaders, with those people who are not the decision maker. We would like to see the UN envoy doing more, pressuring more the decision makers, the warlords in between brackets. We need to see him offering the Yemeni people, offering the international community fruitful results. If he is expecting more support and more funds.
Okay. Now, we cannot talk about the peace process in Yemen, Mr. Naji, without addressing the recent development, which is the Red Sea crisis. Okay? Now, one observer also commented on this, saying that the focus on political settlement in Yemen seems to have now shifted to dealing with the Houthi threats in the Red Sea. So instead of the focus being on pushing the political process, the focus is now or has now shifted on what we call containing the Houthi threat in the region. Okay? This is another disappointment for ordinary Yemenis who have hoped to see peace, Mr. Naji. Don't you agree with this?
There is no doubt that what is happening in the Red Sea is not helping to sort out Yemen's crisis, nor even helping the situation in Gaza. Sadly, the situation in Yemen remains critical, and because of the Red Sea crisis, we are seeing more divisions between the warring factions. Not only that, the Red Sea crisis caused the road map initiative to reach a dead end for now.
Yeah.
The US and the UK, who were supporting the roadmap plan,
Yes.
are now more interested in the security and the safety of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So while Gaza situation is still very bad, Gaza is still under attack, with no major power is listening to what the Houthis are saying. You know, while the international community is now busy protecting shipping freedom in the Red Sea. So people hope that Gaza crisis would come to halt. So in order for the roadmap initiative, which was accepted and supported by all parties involved, come to be active again.
Yes. In the same context, Mr. Naji, the US ambassador to Yemen, he gave a digital briefing last week, and he commented on this Red Sea crisis and the Yemen peace process, saying that we cannot talk about a ceasefire in Yemen or a political settlement in Yemen, okay, while the Houthi escalation in the Red Sea continues. How do you comment on this?
Well, the US ambassador or the Washington or the White House main interest, we all know their main interest or their interest. What the USA would benefit or would lose from such a situation. So for them, the priority now is securing the Red Sea, securing shipping, freedom in the Red Sea. They don't care about what is happening in Yemen for now. We all know that everybody should understand that the United States and other major powers, when they have a certain situation, they concentrate on that problem and try to avoid talking about other major crises.
Especially when this problem, Mr. Naji, has affected the international what we call trade, etc. Now, if we move, Mr. Naji, to another issue, which is the Saudi Houthi talks, okay? Recently, you might have followed also that the chief Houthi negotiator, Mohammed Abdul Salam, okay, he praised his meetings with the Saudis, okay? He talked to the Middle East about this, saying that the talks with the Saudis, okay, have overcome the obstacles of the UN roadmap, okay? Now, many say that these talks between Saudis and Houthis, okay, have excluded a wider, what we call, population of Yemenis. And here I talk about the anti-Houthi camp. So, do you think such talks, bilateral talks, can pave to a real peace in Yemen?
Well, obviously, people are expecting the Saudi leadership to act decisively and make peace in Yemen, as they did when they decided to support the legitimate government and declared what they called Asafat al-Hazm to defeat the Houthis and their supporters during since 2015.
Yes.
People are saying trying to make it up to the Houthis in Sana'a is not good enough for the legitimate government, and supporting the UN mission and the UN effort, UN envoy efforts, claiming that they are just mediators is also not enough. So it is true that the UK and is the pen holder in Yemen, of Yemen.
Yes.
In the Security Council, in charge of drafting resolutions and statements related to Yemen. But let's remember that the Norwegian Refugee Council and other parties called on the UK to either demonstrate that it can lead the council to take meaningful actions on Yemen, or hand over the pen holder responsibility to another member.
I see. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. If we would like to sum up your vision for peace prospects in Yemen in a half sentence, what would you say?
Well, I would really hope that the Red Sea crisis would come to an end, and then we will see UN efforts and international community efforts to solve the crisis of Yemen is coming to function again, and hopefully we will see the new government of Mr. bin Mubarak is going to do better, especially if they want to settle down in Aden and try to look at the problem of Yemen from within Yemen, not from outside Yemen. And hopefully I would hope that the Houthis in Sana'a would realize that the international community is watching them, watching every step they take. I mean, not only the international community, and the Yemeni people also would like to see the Houthis are acting more logically and more peaceful, if they really want to make it up to the legitimate government and try to reach a political settlement.
Yeah.
This is what we hope we can see in the near future.
Yeah. With that remark, we come to the end of this interview, Mr. Naji. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for talking to Yemen Today TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's all for this time. See you next week with a new edition of The Third Dimension.